self-promotion. But you can't deny the fact that even in the self-promotion, if she was throwing a party and she was out there with y'all with the party, you at least got to say, there she is right there. She promoting herself, but there she is right there.
Okay, please let me interject, dear Woke Christian, because the Dolton trustees do the exact same thing. But the difference is they're not, with camera letting everybody know, look at me, look at what I'm doing for these destitute residents. They're not doing that. They're doing the same things. They're doing bingo, they're doing yoga at the library, they're doing line dancing. And it kind of bothers me that, I guess they have to have a camera on them at all time for it to be justified that they're doing those things. Not to mention, they're doing them really for the residents, which is why they don't have a camera on them all the time. Tiffany is there, but it is not about the residents. Not only is she there, she maliciously, in one of her food giveaways, singled out the people that she didn't like and chastised them about being in her line. I mean,
I remember that.
How's that? A good representation of being there for the people. And then one last point about two more points. One, when you ask what they need to do, they need to get rid of Keith Price and people like him that are a black eye on the township that are still in their roles. They started it with William Moore and Kamal, but they need to continue it with Robert Hunt, who, is just not accountable. And he's an accountant, but he's not accountable to the numbers, to the books.
Is that the young guy?
He's I guess your determination of young, but
he's
yes.
40.
But he doesn't. I've asked him on several occasions, what's the budget? Do we have a surplus? Something that Tiffany name drops on all the time, every meeting. But when you ask the finance guy, he has no idea. Now, this is at a meeting where you should be prepared with that information. So that's another thing. Get rid of, those kinds. And then, darn, I forgot the third thing. But again, just those are my two things for now. And if I remember the third one, I'll come back to it. But
we'll let you do it. We'll let you do it.
But,
I just don't want it to be negated or overlooked that the trustees do things without a camera in their face, begging, for people to say, oh, I know the third thing. I also, there's a whole gap of people that don't qualify for any of those Thornton Township services, including, myself, but my taxes do go to fund them. So that is a huge problem for me. This entity that's, highly funded, but it's only, geared towards a select few. And not only that, I also feel like prioritization needs to be had at the township, because spending that kind of money on big bingo and things like that and kind of
big bingo is crazy.
Where the money is going is counterproductive, and it's not efficient, and it's not conducive, to moving forward in a financially responsible way.
Alicia,
Go ahead.
Alicia show. Let me step out of the way. Let me let y'all just go and interview Alicia.
Do you think Robert Hunt is acting that way because that's what he's been told to do, even though he shouldn't do it?
You know what? I don't care what he's been told. He is a grown man, and he has a responsibility to his position and to his accountancy, his career and his profession. So if he's been told to do something that he knows he shouldn't do, step down. Don't keep doing it. The FBI isn't going to, accept that response. Well, they told me to do it. He's going to have to face the music, so I don't accept that.
Okay.
Alicia said, I don't accept that.
No, I don't.
That is not acceptable. Alicia said, I'm not playing with you. I'm not playing with you. I love it.
So, Alicia, I have a request.
Sure.
Because you do have a relationship with the Dolton trustees.
Mm-hmm.
I have a BA in marketing, so I have some knowledge about the psyche of consumers and how we receive things. And no matter what we're doing, we're always consumers. So even in this process of politics, the residents are the consumers.
Sure.
My request or my suggestion to the Dolton trustees, even in their most genuine, being genuine in whatever it is that they're doing publicly, have someone record them, because we are in a space of social media, TikTok, and those things. And you want the younger voters, because Tiffany always went for the seniors, because what do seniors do? They vote. Younger people, not so much. You want to get the seniors and you want to get the young people, but to get the young people, you got to be visible. And my suggestion is maybe not everything, and not everything doesn't need to be recorded, but just show some of the things that they're doing, even if they record it and show it at the meetings. It doesn't have to be posted on their social media. Put it in the meetings so that they can see it. And when it's in the meetings, trust and believe the people recording will put it out there. And that's my only suggestion, because I understand they don't want to be that person, but sometimes you got to play that game, but
Right.
just don't play it the way Tiffany plays it.
I agree.
But do it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me? I'm sorry. I
Yes.
know my phone was breaking out earlier. Okay, yeah. In the piggyback off that, Red, that's a good point, because I said that I was in one of Jedi's live, and I said that to Mary Avant, and I said you have to meet people where they are, and where people are on social media. So like trustee, the Tea with Trustees, that's an opportunity to incorporate some of these platforms, YouTubers, and people that can come in and live stream that, and open up dialogue. And then maybe the trustees can take questions from some of these, live streams with YouTubers and stuff to help expand out into the community more. Because at this point, my kids are on their phones. I have to tell them to put it down, just eat dinner. Like it's just certain things that's just glued to these phones now with social media. And that's what they're absorbing. They're absorbing from that. So sometimes you just have to meet people where they are. And it doesn't have to be all the time, but it could be maybe once a month or twice a month, where you have this slow incorporation of putting it's making that brand, and just kind of, not to really put it out there like it's facetious, but you got to put it out there to where these people are able to come in and they can do things virtually. They can look at these, meetings where the residences are able to finally raise their voice. And another point to that, it was this girl here. It didn't matter if she went out and gave out food boxes when she was kicking people out of town hall meetings for exercising free speech. To me, it's, what difference does it make if you're out here showboating about a skating rink, or, come on and get a book bag and all this other stuff. But then when you have a meeting, you turn around and treat the residents like crap. You're telling them they can't ask questions. You're infringing on First Amendment rights. You basically turn around, you're verbally abusing them every meeting. So the food boxes and book bags mean nothing. With you recording and doing all this stuff, if you turn around and then you tell someone you can't ask a question, but you can only make a comment. What is that? You put two people out because you don't want criticism. So that stuff was just moot when it comes down to that. And she's just doing that to showboat.
Hey, Lady Leslie, they do that in Harvey. You can't clap, you can't talk, you can't do nothing. So it's nothing new out here.
Can't clap.
Yeah. Oh yeah, now that's an infringement on First Amendment rights right there. Clapping is the freedom of expression. It's part of expression, and you would think Clark would know this, being an attorney and all, but there's U.S. Supreme Court rulings that support that. So for them to say you cannot express yourself is an infringement on your First Amendment rights. And it's so direct and brazen, bold. It's disgusting. It's just,
we know
why they get around with it.
We know that. And that's one of the reasons why I don't speak up at, if I do go to the Harvey meetings, because I don't have time for that. I'm not trying to fight no case or anything for no bogus arrest because I chose to speak up. So that's not a battle I'm embarking on. But back to your point about the marketing with the Tea with the Trustees, that's more sacred for them right now, especially because everything right now is just publicized and magnified. So when they want residents, especially if they want them, the ones that actually do vote and the ones that are directly affected by this situation, to come out, they don't want it to be under the scrutiny of a camera lens, which, mind you, probably wouldn't even be there if Tiffany wasn't in office, if this was just a regular Tea with the Trustees. And I think that's the goal, to get back to that and not have this big spectacle of just Dolton, and their, political process or administration.
Shenanigans.
Yeah. And then also they do, mind you, having said that, they do have their designated recorder, which he was there at the last Tea with the Trustees. And he actually did just put out a video that was recorded that day. A nice, very, very nicely produced promotional video. So they do that. I mean, you're what you're saying is not falling on deaf ears. They have been doing that. It's just the audiences and where they find it. More people follow Tiffany, so they're going to see her stuff more. But if you look at the Dolton politics groups, those videos are always posted because I'm always
Okay.
liking them. And then, mind you, as far as the kids, I understand that as well. Brittany is their link. Trustee Norwood is their link to the younger generation. She's done Wild and Out. She's done a lot of things. She just did Family Skate Night, which I went to. So there's no disconnect between their ability or attempts to reach out to anybody, let alone the younger generation. It's just not magnified like Tiffany, because that's all Tiffany's doing. That's not all the trustees are doing. They're doing other things, and they have lives, and regular jobs, so
And
I
I,
had to
it,
get
and
that
I
point.
Understood.
and I appreciate that. I guess for
Yeah.
me, with Tiffany, like I'm always sickened when people see someone homeless on the street and they help them, but they record themselves helping them. That's how